Steve, we're now going to start what I've been terming my rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Bring it.
When did you first know you wanted to be a lawyer?
I think I was my senior year in college.
Why?
It's a very sad story. I was going out with a woman who was in law school who passed away, and I think that I wanted to finish it for her. It took me years to psychoanalyze how I got to law school from that.
Sorry to hear that. Do you have a favorite attorney to litigate against?
No. There are a number of lawyers I really like litigating against, but I couldn't pick a favorite.
Could you pick a top three?
Top three: John Hooper at Reed Smith, Mark Mester at Latham.
Sure. Mark was on NCAA, right?
Mark was on NCAA, and I'm sure I'm missing some folks, but those are the two that come to mind right now.
Come to mind. Good guys. What do you see as being the biggest change to the class action landscape over the previous 5 years?
A lot more players. It seems like nowadays, you know, you have a lead counsel application in a case like GM, 80 lawyers showed up. Right. So you're having these lumber liquidators. There must have been 50 firms showing up. Right. So now there's just a lot more competition.
Do you have a favorite legal movie?
Paper Chase.
It's a classic.
Yep.
How about a favorite non-legal movie?
Top Gun.
It's a good one. You know, it's a pretty common answer, actually. Is there a book that you've gifted a great deal in your life?
Yes, I just gifted one to my son, Arthur Schlesinger's book about Robert F. Kennedy.
Why that book?
He's one of my heroes. I think he's inspiring, so I pass it around.
What was your least favorite law school class and why?
Tax. Me too. I didn't want to take it, but my roommate convinced me that we had at the University of Chicago the leading tax professor in the world. Right. So I went, and he terrorized me for an entire semester.
Sounds like a blast. What area of class action law do you see the most growth in?
Actually, let me go back. Any class I took from Justice Scalia, I found very unpleasant. We were completely opposite on our view of what the law meant.
I can't imagine that from where you are and the decisions that he left before his passing. Biggest growth area of class action law?
Auto cases. It used to be a few years ago that most plaintiffs' firms didn't do auto cases. And now all of a sudden, for whatever reason, some of the biggest cases in the country right now are auto defect cases.
Well, I mean, is that a virtue of the fact that there's just so many autos out there?
It's a virtue of A, there are a lot of autos, and B, it seems like the complexity of making automobiles is leading to very serious errors in the manufacturing process.
Just read about that Tesla death, the auto-driving Tesla death. That was terrifying. For a long time, this question was, which case was worse for the plaintiff's bar, Carrera, Concepcion, or Dukes? I am now going to add to the list Spokio. Which of those?
Easy, Concepcion. Because, you know, the others you can work around. Right. Dukes really hasn't bothered me at all. Comcast hasn't bothered us. It just means you have to do your homework more, sure. Right? But Concepcion closes the door to many, many cases we would have brought. And I find that decision to be morally and legally outrageous.
There's been an increased amount of press regarding, you know, forced arbitration clauses, the CFPB's efforts. Do you have any predictions of what might happen on that front?
I think that the Consumer Bureau is going to change the law on that, open up more cases. Looking forward to that.
Do you have a particular legal nonprofit that's close to your heart?
My bike teams. So I am an avid cyclist, and if you went down to my office, you'd see my bike sitting there from this morning's ride. And so I sponsor men and women's bike team, try to promote fitness in the country and to give kids a chance to race, which I didn't have because we didn't have competitive cycling here in the U.S. when I was a kid.
Right, that's great. Would you advise the next generation, your children, for instance, to attend law school?
I didn't want my kids to attend law school, but my son didn't follow my advice, middle son, so he's in law school. Okay. I'm glad that he is. He seems to be really enjoying it. And as long as he uses it to try to make a difference, then I'm fully supportive.
That's great. What does he want to do? Do you know yet? Does he know yet?
He wants to work here. But I told him he's got to spend a few years learning the ropes somewhere else first.
Smart. What's the most beautiful courthouse in the United States?
I would say the U.S. District Court in Santa Ana, the Ronald Reagan Courthouse. It's always sunny there. It's got this majestic curve, and they spared no expense on it, and it's just an amazing courthouse.
If you had one poignant piece of advice to impart upon a young lawyer, what would that be?
Keep it simple.
It's great. Steve, thanks so much. We really enjoyed having you as a guest.
Thanks for having me.